Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is Professor Gulshan Sachdeva, Chief Coordinator, Global South Center of Excellence, Dakshin, from Research and Information System for Developing Countries, New Delhi. Welcome to this workshop on sustainable agriculture and agro-ecological approaches in the Global South. At Dakshin, our aim is to really identify development solutions from any developing country and scale them for implementation across the Global South. This is our third workshop on agriculture, and agriculture is one of the main areas in which we have been focusing at Dakshin. Before we come to specific issues about this workshop, may I invite our Director General RIS, Professor Sachin Chaturvedi, to welcome all our participants who are not just participating from India, but also we have participants from many countries in the Global South, from South Sudan, from Somalia, from St. Lucia, Sierra Leone, Sri Lanka, and also Dominican Republic, and many other. These are but many others are also participating. In the workshop, which perhaps later on will be interactive with us. Professor Sachin Chaturvedi.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Professor Gulshan Sachdeva. Thanks for getting this organized and getting all of our partners together. It's a great opportunity for us to continue Dakshin, the Global South Center of Excellence, knowledge sharing effort, collecting insights from the ground, and also trying to bring in all the think tanks from the Global South together to take this arduous task that we have of collating development experiences of the Global South. What kind of theoretical framework it offers, what kind of practical solutions it brings in, and what kind of approaches we are looking at in terms of this partnership, I think is extremely important. We also would have to see how particularly agriculture, which is the biggest employment provider in almost all the southern countries, is actually going through multiple challenges. It is going through the challenges of accessing market, it is facing challenges of quality, but at the same time, the onslaught of chemicals is also a major challenge for the Global South to keep chemicals out from the food value chain. And from that point of view, agro-ecological practices, sustainable agriculture practices, and bringing in agrochemicals, which are part of the sustainability spectrum, extremely important and necessary. This requires us to explore the prevailing practices across the Global South, how we bring agriculture out of the excessive dependence on solutions which are not sustainable, on solutions that are not providing us to meet our own requirement of SDG goal 2, which is about nutrition, but nutrition which is with quality, food security with quality. So that's the purpose of Sustainable Development Goal 2, which all the developing countries, particularly the ones which are dependent on agriculture, have to meet. This is also pertinent in terms of identifying the agro-ecological norms to come up. Largely, the Western countries have come up with norms where Southern countries and think tanks have paid little attention in terms of the kind of agro-ecological movements that have come up. Today, we have lined up several our partners, partner institutions, individuals, and also the countries with which we have signed letters of agreement. They all have tried to contribute in terms of the knowledge sharing effort that Dakshin is trying to bring in. Idea is also to bring in sustainability practices getting documented. As you would recall, in the past 3 conferences, we have tried to take the idea forward in terms of bringing the concepts, their roadmap, their articulation, and also trying to see what actions are possible. As we are getting set for the first Global South Think Tank Conference in Delhi, Our idea is that we launch certain studies, and we would like to partner with the think tanks which are interested in taking the task forward and get that strengthened in terms of our partnership, in terms of sharing of knowledge, and also in terms of evolving new norms for agroecological practices that many of us are taking forward in our respective settings. It is also important for us to see how new Global South consensus on agriculture practices may influence CJIR and CJIR's own norms in the future. Idea would also be to see how the Trinity from Rome, all the three institutions, IFAR, the World Food Programme, and the FAO, would also prefer to change the practices that they have advocated so far in terms of agroecology and also in terms of our approaches on sustainability. The third point that I want to make is in terms of measurement. How do we define the benchmarks for indicators which are identified for SDG Goal 2 for sustainability? They are also intrinsically linked with water consumption. So Goal 6 comes in. They are also connected with biodiversity. So Goal 15 comes in. So this intertwining of goals and the indicators that are required to measure the delta in terms of our movement forward, I think is of great significance. Dakshin is committed in terms of taking this idea forward. We would be extremely glad to have the partnership that is there today. I am very sure that our advisor agriculture, Dr. Shiv Sena Reddy, our chief coordinator of Dakshin, Professor Gulshan Sachdeva, would make efforts in terms of collating the recommendations, the ideas that would emanate out of this conference today would be soon rolled out as a recommendation, and we would take that up in the first Global South Think Tank Summit, which is scheduled to be organized in Delhi very soon. With these words, I once again warm welcome to everyone. My New Year greetings to everyone, and we would very much like to hear each one of you. Back to you, Gulshan, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chaturvedi, for the welcoming word and also setting the stage for this workshop. As you know, these are experts, solid experts in their field, and we know that we have a large number of experts gathered here. Time is very limited, and as you have mentioned, at Dakshin we are working not just in agriculture but also in the areas of health, in the areas of digital solutions. And also in the infrastructure connectivity, education, and also climate technologies. So there are a large number of areas in which we are focusing. And as our DG was mentioning, we have been able to sign association agreements already with more than 85 countries, something around 135 think tanks. So very soon, as he said, we are going to plan a major think tank conference in Delhi, and hopefully we'll be able to welcome, some of you here in that conference. The idea is really to get certain projects moving, and then we'll see how those projects can be implemented in the Global South. This is, as I was saying earlier, that the idea is to really find development solutions from the Global South for the Global South. And the current agriculture production systems in the Global South, obviously, you all know, face tremendous challenges. And these includes low resource use efficiency, escalating input costs, heavy dependence on chemical fertilizers and pesticides. And many Global South farmers also use unsustainable practices such as intensive tillage, cultivation of resource-intensive non-ecological sin crops. As a result, what we have now is really declining soil health, inefficient natural resource management, and in many countries, there is also absence of sustainability-oriented planning and agriculture governance. So overall, in fact, there is a heavy reliance on supply-driven strategies. And above all, we also have impact of climate change, including extreme weather events, land degradation, and water scarcity. And within this context, we plan to discuss those sustainable agriculture practices which may offer viable long-term solutions by harmonizing productivity with ecological health. So in the Global South, we perhaps need to focus on those agroecological approaches which integrate traditional knowledge, ecological principles, and modern innovations. So we are looking for approaches which strengthen climate resilience, improve soil health, and also conserve water and promote biodiversity. Now, the approaches may also need to align with unique environmental conditions of the countries of the global south. In fact, the father of India's green revolution, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, what he mentioned was that the future of food security will depend on the combination of the ecological prudence of the past and also the technological advances of today. So these are just, the thing which I was able to learn from our colleagues here. We also have full team here of Dakshin, our other advisors in different areas, and also some of our advisors are also participating online. So we have very solid list of people here, those who are going to speak. And I know that, you have a tremendous knowledge in these areas. So it means I would just request all of you, because I know that you know so much about what we are going to talk today, that if you just limit your initial comments to about 5 or 6 minutes, so then we can have some time for discussion with other participants also here. So first, may I invite Dr. Garnesh Sharma. He is the Director, National Center for Organic and Natural Farming, Ghaziabad, Department of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Dr. Garnesh Sharma, he did his agriculture graduation and post-graduation from Agriculture University, Palampur in Himachal, and then he did his PhD from horticulture from Central University, Lucknow. But the main area in which he has been really focusing is on organic and natural farming. May I invite Dr. Garnesh Sharma for your views, please? Dr. Garnesh Sharma, could you see him? Dr. Sharma, can you hear us?
I can hear. First of all, I would like to congratulate this, the organizers, the president, and other whosoever are there in this program to take up this initiative on agroecological based farming, natural farming. I hope I am audible to all.
Yes, very, very
Good evening. Yes. So my viewpoint on this, immediately I should focus on the time slot which you have indicated to all of us, that 5 to 6 minutes we have to cover each and everything. Means how natural farming is being looked after by Government of India, Ministry of Agriculture. My institute is National Center for Organic and Natural Farming, and we are into capacity building activity. We have to take up the promotional programs for organic and natural farming, including low cost certification system, PGS India certification system we implement in our country, and standard setting not only for organic farming but for natural farming. We have to set the standards, formulate some kind of standards and certification system, which we are working on, and the things are evolving as far as natural farming is concerned. And recently, Government of India is, they have launched, Ministry of Agriculture has launched a scheme, National Mission for Natural Farming, which is going to be a flagship program for promoting agroecological based farming and, this chemical free farming, or we can say regenerative kind of farming system in our country. And this mission natural farming is going to be a turning point for the farmers who are small and marginal, and they need hand holding, they need capacity building, they need facilitation and standards and certification systems, and in the marketing linkage also. So basically, what is natural farming? I'm just indicating some kind of interesting points, that natural farming is a kind of a chemical free farming which is rooted in our Indian tradition, with modern understanding of ecology and resource recycling and on farm resource optimization. So So these are the words which will again and again come as and when we talk about natural farming. And this is considered also as a agroecological based diversified farming system, which integrates crops, trees, and livestock, which is the important thing with functional biodiversity. So it is largely based on farm biomass recycling, with major stress on biomass mulching and on farm cow dung urine formulations, maintaining the soil aeration, and excluding all kind of synthetic chemical inputs and outside products. So farmers here have to prepare everything on farm so that the cost can be minimized. The focus here, the aim here in National Mission for Natural Farming is to improve the soil health basically, and then improve climate, bring climate resilience, and reduce the input cost for the small and marginal farmers. So this is the concept, and this is the, you can say, the definition, kind of a definition also for this natural farming, we can say. We can call it regenerative farming, climate resilient agriculture, whatever we may. So these are some of the things which I would like to highlight here, that Mission Natural Farming is going to be implemented in a large scale, and the target farmers are about 750,000 hectare area and about 1 crore farmers. And bio input resource centers will be established. About 10,000 BRCs will be established, where cow is not there, livestock is not there, and where the farmers will struggle for this cow dung and cow urine. Then bio input resource centers will serve the purpose of providing the inputs. So the entrepreneurs will be selected through this mission, whosoever are interested, whosoever are having the experience at local level for preparing these, concoctions and decoctions, like you may be aware of Jeevamrit, Bijamrit, which we say. These are all cow dung, cow urine based formulations, and these are to be used with, the local adaptive practices, we can say, because I already said that it is traditional. It is, the root lies in tradition, our tradition of preparing the bio inputs on farm, utilizing the cow dung and all the kind of natural resources which are on farm. In addition to this, we go for the good practices also. We are learning from different states also. Like in Andhra Pradesh, we have pre-monsoon dry sowing kind of a practice, which is very important, where different kinds of seeds are sown before they go for regular cultivation of main crops, major crops. Basic aim is to improve the nutrient supplying capacity of the soil, improving the organic carbon, organic matter of the soil, and also the microbial activity is to be enhanced. So these are the basic important things which are required in this natural farming. And then we have mulching also. Different kinds of we can say straw is available, different kind of waste is available, leaf or dry or semi-dry kind of waste which can be used. Weed biomass can be used as a mulching thing. So these are some of the good activities, good practices, we can say, good agricultural practices, which can be little bit fine-tuned to the local adaptive practices of that particular area, maybe coastal area, maybe northeastern hilly areas, or maybe some kind of sub-temperate regions of our country like Jammu and Kashmir, and even Himachal, Uttarakhand. So the practices will be different for different regions. So these adaptive practices will be adopted for taking this mission natural farming forward, and then come improving the natural infiltration rate of this whatever water is there. We can say we have to conserve the water. This is also one of the interesting objective, that we have to conserve the water. We should not waste our natural resources. This is there in Mission Natural Farming, and these are some of the interesting things which need to be taken up when we go for Mission Natural Farming. And here, Government of India is taking the help of progressive farmers, which we call as champion farmers. Those farmers who are practicing this natural farming for the last, say, 5 to 6 years, they are considered as the master trainers. So basically, the learning is from the master trainers who are the practicing farmers, and they have adopted some kind of recent practices and also the traditional practices, and they are success in practicing this natural farming. They have good yields, even higher yields in some cases. So these kind of farmers are considered as champion farmers, and these farmers will be provided training by National Center for Organic and Natural Farming, by Manage. These are the resource organizations who will train these progressive farmers so that they can upscale it by providing training in cluster mode in all the clusters at block level or panchayat level. So these the army of these champion farmers will be already. Lot of efforts have been done by Ministry of Agriculture and even Ministry of Rural Development. In collaboration, we are doing the work. Even the women, Krishi Sakhis of Ministry of Rural Development, they are promoting this Krishi Sakhi and Pashu Sakhi program. So these Krishi Sakhis are also being considered as a para extension workers, and they will further train. They will be considered as master trainers, and about 60,000 such kind of Krishi Sakhis have already been trained under 5 days training programs, online and offline mode through Manage. And these Krishi Sakhis will also act as a master trainers at local level. So this way, the reach out will be up to 1 crore farmers in the country. So this is what is happening at ground, what will happen at ground level. And this bio input resource centers will be established. Already I have explained for the farmers who are not, who are not able to get the cow dung because cow is not available in some places. So gaushalas can be roped in, and these entrepreneurs will get the bioresources from in and around gaushalas, or can be collected from in and around farmers at local level. They will prepare, these entrepreneurs will be trained through 5 to 10 days training program to take up, production of bio inputs, including biopesticides at on-farm level, and so that the bio inputs are easily, available or affordable at low cost to the local farmers also. So this is what is up to, production level, how this mission is working. And action plan has been invited from all the state governments, because state governments are the main implementing authorities, the state agencies, the state Department of Agriculture. They have to, prepare the annual action plan with the indicative clusters at block level or state level. And these clusters will be further trained by the master trainers. And then this entire thing will happen, the mission natural farming. And as far as the standards of natural farming are concerned, we have already framed the draft national standards, and these standards were approved by Ministry of Agriculture. Ministry of Agriculture has further forwarded it to the BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, for further refining it, fine tuning it with the BIS standards, so that we come out with a good standards on natural farming. And then the certification system will be mobile app based, local based. This mobile app or IT leveraged, we can say IT enhanced kind of verification system, where farmers will take up this inspection and verification the way we are taking up in PGS India certification system. So that will be little bit modified as per natural farming needs and requirements. So this mobile app based certification system will be there at local level, and farmers will be linked up to the buyers at local level, or maybe with this NCOL has also been established by Government of India, Ministry of Cooperation. So National Cooperative Organic Limited is ready to buy the natural farming produce, and they will definitely give some kind of incentives to the farmers, uh, kind of a premium price, so that farmers are encouraged to take up natural farming, sustainability continuously for future. So this is there from my side, in short, about Mission Natural Farming, how this agroecological based farming and regenerative farming activity is being taken up by Government of India. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ganesh Sharma, for really outlining the kind of mission natural farming, the way extensively and in a very comprehensive way, using the IT techniques you are implementing this is a national scale. The next speaker we have Professor Ashwini Parekh. He may not need any introduction to this audience, but just for the record, I mean, he is one of the leading plant the first figure in the area of plant biology, and he's currently serving as executive director at NABI, and he's also a professor at JNU and a adjunct professor at the University of Western Australia in Perth. I know he has earned many prizes, but a couple of them, he was also awarded prestigious award for technology development from the President of India for his creation of stress-tolerant rice of the next generation, which is called Strong. And then he also has many other awards, from Tata Innovation Award by DBT, Nestle Reliance Platinum Jubilee Award, and many prestigious fellowships. And he has about 200 publications, on his area which is work, and more than anything else, he's an old friend. So, Professor Ashwini Parekh, we are very eager to listen to you. I know that you've done great work in this area, but we'd like to share with others as well.
Thank you very much. I would like to put on record my sincere thanks to the platform, Dakshin, Dr. Srivastava, Dr. Gulshan Sachdeva, many others who have joined to discuss this important topic, which is of relevance not to only India, but beyond India as well. We are talking about sustainable agro-ecological practices, and specifically in relation to Global South. I'll be restricting my thoughts to talking about the abiotic stresses, how do we mitigate them? And this will work as an appetizer, as Professor Gulshan said, that we are planning to have a broader discussion on that front. First of all, let us understand that Global South, each country represents a unique ecosystem with respect to the climate variability, fragile ecosystems, and the nutrition and nutritional deficiencies. Climate change is a reality in many of these countries, so we also understand that the solution for this problem should also be seen with respect to the unique socio-economic and environmental context which is present in each of the countries in Global South. Let me first tell you that what kind of stresses we are anticipating in terms of climate change. We are talking about water over here. I'm sitting in Punjab, which is the birthplace for the Green Revolution, as was mentioned in the opening remark by Dr. Gulshan Sachdeva. We had Green Revolution with the effort of Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. This particular state and many other neighboring states is actually facing a very severe drought condition. It is believed that in the last 8 years, we have consumed almost 106 cubic kilometer of groundwater because the monsoons are becoming unpredictable. And not only the water scarcity is there, but the quality of water, which is reflected in the form of soil salinity, alkalinity, heavy metals, nutrition deficiencies. So many problems are being faced. And collectively, we realize that almost 70% of the potential yield which is there in the crop is lost because of these abiotic stresses alone. So I'll put forward 3 major strategies which I think are going to be very useful for the discussion later on. The agroecological practices for mitigating abiotic stresses. I'm going to put forward 3 major points over here. The first and foremost, as was mentioned by Dr. Sharma in brief as well, we are talking about the soil health management. The soil in India and many other countries in Global South is supposed to be and believed to be completely dead by now because of use of chemicals. And this is where the role of Dr. Sharma initiatives will be very important. And in this regard, we would like to put forward 3 again different strategies. We are talking about conservation agriculture, techniques like minimum tillage, crop residue retention, and crop rotation, which can protect the soil from degradation, are very important in that aspect. We are talking about agroforestry systems, integrating trees into farms, improves the soil fertility, prevents erosion, and moderates microclimate, which is very important for handling such ecosystem in a fragile system. Also, the biochar applications are coming up in a big way across the globe, which enhances the soil structure and water retention in degraded land. The second strategy I would like to put forward, which is again very important, we are talking about water resource management, which is very important. As I said, that the whole country in this part of the world is talking about, and we are saying that the soil is becoming thirsty now. Rainwater harvesting is very, very important because it is very critical in rain-fed agriculture system for storing the water during dry seasons. I will not go into detail on that because of paucity of time. Drip irrigation is also being successfully used by many countries in India and many other places across, which actually moderates the microclimates again. It increases the water use efficiency, particularly in water-scarce regions. We're talking about flood-based farming used in flood-prone areas, capturing nutrient-rich water for seasonal cropping. Third and the foremost strategy I would like to put forward as a solution, there's a modern innovation we are talking about. We are talking about developing the stress resilient crop. That is where we are specializing in our institution. We are representing the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. We are talking about the development of a stress resilient crop. We also have to understand that in the recent year, we have realized that none of the stress comes alone, like water shortage also comes with high temperature, which is also being realized in the form of global warming as well. We have post-submergence drought, especially we are talking about the rice cropping area. So these are the new challenges we are facing. But in this case, we also have to understand that the use of indigenous crop, we talk about traditional crop, which we have been utilizing in many countries, including India, which talks about sorghum, millet, and cassava, which use less water, are very, very important in that aspect. We are talking about the modifications with respect to genetic content, classical breeding, modern breeding, and the new techniques such as gene editing. And I'm very happy to say that the Government of India has relaxed the condition for the consumption of gene-edited crop, SDN1, SDN2. These are two strategies for gene editing and making new crop, which have been considered equivalent to the classical breeding. With these strategies which I'm proposing, I would also like to mention that future directions in this regard should focus on digital agriculture, which is going to play a very, very important role. Use of AI and drones has already been spoken about. Public-private partnership with academia and industry. We are very much focusing in our institution on these aspects. And of course, last but not the least, the global collaboration, sharing of successful models and practices throughout the South-South cooperation is going to play a very, very important role. And I'm sure with these interventions and working together among the countries of Global South, we certainly have a brighter future, as was talked about SDG2 and other goals. We can handle these very strategically, provided we know where to go and how to move about in that direction. With this, I would like to take a pause and hand over to the chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Parikh, for putting all these so many very useful ideas, very specific ideas within a very limited 5 or 6 minutes time. And I think this was really remarkable. And particularly as you have mentioned about soil health management, water resource management, and also looking into all the IT sector, digital agriculture, and also bringing public-private. So many very specific proposals, I think, which are going to be very useful at the end of this workshop. So the next speaker we have Professor Usha Meena. She is a professor at the School of Environmental Sciences at Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi. She is trained as an environmentalist with specialization in plant and crop ecology and air pollution. And her other interests also are on agroecology, climate change scenarios, and she has done in so many other areas, particularly related to climate change and other issues. Over to you, Dr. Professor Meena, to share your thoughts.
Thanks for giving this opportunity. Am I audible?
Now you're clear.
Yeah. Thanks for giving this opportunity. As Professor Parikh and Dr. Gangesh has already apprised all of you that what Indian government is doing to promote the agroecology. And as we all know, it is mandatory for India as well as Global South also, because I think most of the country are bounded by the UNFCCC, CBD and UCCD, as well as SDGs, which we all have to, whatever the we have committed there, we have to achieve that. And among all these instruments, this agroecology has been identified as a key scientific and policy instrument to address environmental and social issues. And when we are discussing this, this concept is not new concept, as we all know that one of the key agroecological concept is of permaculture, which has been developed in 1970s by Australian scientists David Holmgren and Bill Mollison. And that time only when they have conceptualized this permaculture concept, the core principles which they follow is that it is based on earth care, people care, and fair share. And you can see that in 1970s, this concept was developed, and now it has been evolved as a permaculture research institute. And in 2020, if we will see, this permaculture techniques are now increasingly integrated with this regenerative agriculture or natural farming practices. And in India also, alone, single-handedly, new entrepreneurs are also adopting it. There are some examples like Opal Shen Farm, whose founder is Malvika Solanki. She is maintaining its whole farm through permaculture techniques, and it is located near Bandipur Reserve. People are invited to visit it, as well as students are also visit that. Similarly, near Haryana in Bunga, also on 12-acre food forest of Ananda permaculture farm is located. So these are the, we will say, pilot plots which are located for the real-time learning on field. And what I was observing nowadays that the definition of agroecology is constituted of three parts. It's constituted of science, it's constituted of set of practices, and a social movement. So nowadays the more focus is on science and set of practices. In scientific and technical perspective, we are applying the ecological concepts and principles on the interaction between the crops, livestock, and its abiotic component. To enhance its sustainability. And from set of practices perspective, we are integrating the agriculture practices as naming the agriculture practices agroecological based on that, how they are relying on the ecological processes without taking the help of external inputs. But the less focus is given on the concept of social movement, which is also very important. That social movement part is that it gives the food sovereignty, which we defined as the right of people, communities, and countries to define their own agriculture, labor, fishing, food, or land policies. And it prioritizes the local food system over the regional or global food systems. And it reduces the dependencies of local on external food systems also. So this is also one of the important concept of agroecology, which has not been addressed very much, though on science part and set of practices much has been done. And nowadays, in present context, it is now a transdisciplinary field that includes the ecological knowledge, sociocultural, technological, economic, and political dimensions of food system from production to consumptions. And as per FAO has also worked a lot on this agroecological dimensions. They have already identified the framework for assessing the performance of agroecological practices based farms. That is the TAPE module they have developed. And as per this TAPE module, they are assessing the 10 elements of this agroecological practices based farm system. And these 10 elements includes diversity, co-creation and sharing of knowledge, synergies, efficiencies, recycling, resilience, human and social values, culture and food tradition, and responsible governance, and circular solidarity economics. And this TAPE can be applied at different scales, at field, farm, and as well as whole food system scales also. So through this methodology, they are assessing the sustainability and performance of agroecological systems or agroecological practices based systems, as well as their social context also. So from global south context, I would like to highlight some of the key aspects which I think need to be strengthened, though FAO is working and different government agencies are also working on the expansion of this agroecological practices. But I think we need a national agroecological strategy also. And we can take, it is very easily, it can be framed, because in India, one of the states, Sikkim, which is already following the 100% organic farming practices by implementing robust policy measures. So it shows the feasibility of large scale agroecological transformation as well. And we need to promote the agroecological enterprises as well as agroecology commodity market also, because till now the most of the entrepreneurship which is related to agriculture and food system, which has been driven by the industrial agricultures, but entrepreneurship around agroecology is still in infancy. I have though given you few examples, those who have adopted the permaculture practices, but with respect to global south, it is still in infancy stage. So there is no policy to anchor agroecology entrepreneurs. But on the positive side, agroecology though have a refined set of principles which can use to drive entrepreneurship. And then we need to, when we are saying we have to strengthen its agroecological commodity market also, then we have to take care of the whole food system, different components of it. It may happen that the producers are producing the commodities by following the agroecological practices, but when it is going through the different stages of that food system, it may be get contaminated. So in that way, we need to address that also. And as per World Food Bank fiscal report, it has been identified that in global south there are 25 countries which fall under low income economies, and it has been always questioned whether if we promote the agroecological practices, did they not influence or they will able to fulfill the food security and nutritional security aspect also. But the literature which has been published as well as studies through science, they are establishing that agroecological practices positively influence food security and nutrition by creating more dietary diversity. So these are the few of my points. And besides this, when we are strengthening, when I'm saying that we should develop a national agroecological strategies, it is an opportunity for us to document, though through under Indian traditional knowledge system, we are already documenting those indigenous people who are maintaining their agriculture systems or farms by through this agriculture practices, but such references are available in each state and each regions. So now it is the right time that we can document their practices as well as we can use them as a reference system to convert our existing conventional system to the sustainable farming or the agroecological practices based system. So, and I'm thankful to the Dakshin that they have given me the opportunity to share this viewpoint with you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Professor Meena, for participating and giving actually an absolutely new dimension. I mean, to our discussion, but from the agroecological dimension, and as you rightly mentioned that it's not just on the global south. Even within India itself, we need a kind of strategy for first, and then perhaps maybe many other countries within the global south, they are already having certain practices and certain kind of policies. So we'll try to kind of collate all these evidences from all of the countries as well, and see how global south can really benefit from these kind of ideas which emerged in many different countries. So next speaker we have Dr. Jigmit Yangchan. She's a professor cum chief scientist, Head Mountain Research Institute at the University of Ladakh in India. Welcome, ma'am, to this workshop. Her area of expertise is soil water engineering, and she did her PhD from Punjab Agricultural University, Ludhiana. And she has published more than 50 publications in the area in which she works, and also have many awards. Over to you, Dr. Yangchan. I think you have to unmute them. Dr. Jigmit, we have not been able to hear. Maybe if you could remove this earphone, maybe it can work for us. Anyway, yeah, we'll come back to you maybe 5 minutes after the next speaker, at the time we are able to sort out this technical glitch. Now we'll come back to you, ma'am. Once things are sorted out. The next speaker we have now, we have, a couple of speakers from the other global south countries. The first speaker we have, Dr. Jigmet, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we are able to hear you. You can start.
Okay. Very good evening, sir, and Juliet to all. I'm Dr. Jigmet. First of all, I'm really thankful to Dakshin team to giving me this platform to share my experience, especially on the sustainable agriculture. So I share my PPT to Dakshin team. If you please share it, then I will highly appreciate. Thank you so much. Well, next, sir. Addressing the critical challenges in the global south agriculture, a few panelists already told about the global changes. And when I see these challenges, it is almost similar to my places, as I am located from Ladakh. It's one of the highest altitude, 15,000 feet, or in meter you can say 5,000 above sea level. The challenges which I have seen in a global south agriculture are more or less similar to Ladakh place. There were climatic change and climate change issues, resource poor farming and small hoarding farmers, degraded soil, water scarcity, and poor infrastructure. And very poor value addition, such types of problems which are also facing in our place. Next, sir. And as I before start this first of all, I want to share that the location where I am from the Ladakh. Most of the people you might be knowing, Ladakh is located at the northern part of country. It is in the sandwich between the Pakistan and China border. Our geographical area is quite large, 82,650 square kilometer. The climate is so harsh, so cold, and it is also known as a cold arid, and the temperature varies from -35 to +37, and altitude it goes to 2,840 to 4,700 meter. And next, and as Ladakh is divided into two districts, that is Leh district and Kargil district. Where I am from is Leh district. There are the farming systems are the two farming systems, that is agri-horticulture and agri-pastoral. And on basis of soil and topography, agroclimatic zone is differ, and we are known for the cold arid desert zone, and the climate is so harsh, which we already in the challenge we can see that the agro-ecological situations, that it is divided into three parts, that is upper agriculture zone, central agriculture, and lower agriculture. The sustainable agriculture which I am going to share in my presentations is mostly I got the opportunity to work on the upper agriculture zone, where most of the agriculture agro-pastoral zone. Next. It is on the China border. You all might be knowing that it is on the highest altitude, around 15,000 feet, or you can say in a meter 5,000 above sea level. When soil types, when it is very poor organic matter, and the water holding is too poor, and soil nutrition is so poor. Next. And the Changtang, which where I'm the success story, the sustainable approach which I'm going to share with you people, is about the Changtang, where there is a very thin air, or no water issue, no snowfall. That much of air is a very high altitude, and agriculture is in a very sparse. And under such circumstances, how me and my team met, because I was working as a head in the Krishi Vigyan Kendra at one of the highest altitude of the country, and this is known for Krishi Vigyan Kendra Nyoma. From last 4 years, I was leading that institute, and that and the Changtang is in the eastern part of the Ladakh, which is located at the China border, and the temperature variation is minus 35 to plus 30. The snowfall or PPT is 10 mm. And the area wise is quite large. It's 22,000 kilometers, and the village we are having is 24 villages, and 2,217 households are there. Next. And in Ladakh, there is a very challenging now with the time of the climatic change is so abruptly happens that the climate change every frequent year we are facing a cloud burst. Such types of conditions might be happening in other countries also. Then, and these are the problems we have facing, and the places which I'm talking about, the Changtang, where most of their farmers are nomadic farmers. Under such circumstances, what are the solutions we come out from? Next, Project Mission. Project Mission was launched, and we are quite happy to announce that we at 15,000 feet we are able to install these automatic weather stations, and through this we can help those needy remote people, remote farmers, from mortality. We are able to reduce the mortality, as well as we can give the advanced advisory to those farmers from pest management and disaster-like issues. These are the solutions which come out in this at 14 to 15,000 feet. Next. These are the area where I'm sharing the success story of the sustainable agriculture approach. And these are the 14,000 feet where it is known for a Changtang. The cold desert, I already explained all my details there. Here, when before 4 years back, there was a very thin air, no water, all are desert. And even in our myth, from a childhood, we are supposed to say that nothing can be grown in Changtang. Only nomadic people can stay there. For me, it is the biggest challenges. I took a volunteer posting there, and it is a very challenging for me to make this desert into an agriculture, sustainable agriculture, barren land, and into agriculture sustainable field. Next. For that, what are the innovation I have implemented? First, I checked the soil condition of that. It was very low organic, less organic carbon, and under such circumstances, as well as water is, I already told that there is no rainfall, no snowfall. So we have a plenty of solar energy, and under solar energy we trap that we trap that natural resources. And solar, with the help of solar panels, we harvest the water from a groundwater, and with the help of micro irrigation, not even 1 canal or 2 canal, 10 hectares we developed this area. Next. And for the soil point of view, then I already told that organic carbon is very less because of the very temperature variation. To have decomposition is so difficult, and not like other places. It's become very easy for other places to make a vermicompost, but places like Changtang, when minus 30, 35, then vermicompost with technology introduced first time vermicompost, mulching technology, farm machinery, and the farmers of there is very malnutritious, and as well as young children are facing from malnutrition. For that, we designed specially we designed a mushroom cultivation design, low cost on the farmer level. Next. Beside that, Dr. Sharma told the natural farming. I'm glad to share that first time at a very high altitude, natural farming, Geo-Amrit, not only for cow, for sheep dung we introduced in Nyoma at KVK farm. And this is not only at our own institute. I disseminate around 500 farmers this technology, and now farmers are doing the natural farming for that. And beside that, when I'm talking about ITK, Ladakh is totally depend upon glacial water. We use the zinc system for water harvesting, and now we boost up the farmers and community to restore this zinc system as well as artificial glacier. And it is one of the most important parameters when we are talking about water issues. Next. Beside that, we harvest solar energy for agriculture and drip irrigation. Next. And that area, it's very windy, cold, and that place, growing vegetable is a very big challenge. And there we introduce low tunnel as well as trench technology, polycarbonate technology with a low cost. Because my perspective for those farmers, they are not having that much of resources. According to that, we have to design like a low cost technology so that every farmers can take this technology. And beside that, ITKs, when I'm talking, there are nomadic peoples, and we are boosting them, motivate them, value added, and our Pashmina, and now worldwide Pashmina is, Ladakhi Pashmina is known. Now we take care about an value addition of Pashmina goats. And at the same time, when sustainable agriculture we are talking, then we should not skip agroforestry. 3,000 plantation on those barren land, we made it successful. Next. With the help of community. And now after 40 years, I'm able to make them where people are saying nothing can be grown, and I am able to make it successful. Everything is possible. We are able to make that barren land into green land through watermelon, tomato. Next. Brinjal. And all this crop, we are able to make it after 4 years. The barren land, which people are in a myth, dreams comes true that it can be grown in such a harsh climate. Next. Beside that, we did an impact analysis of the technology through the demonstrations, oats, mustards, vegetable nursery, and its adaptability on a farmer levels also we did it. Next. And we provide a progressive champion farmers from those regions. Next. On a large scale, I got the opportunity to work entire Ladakh, and I'm able to make it possible large scale the vermicompost technology to disseminate in entire Ladakh. Next. Capacity building is one of the important parameters for sustainable agriculture, in which we are providing capacity building training not only to the farmers as well as youth, and also in which we are teaching the value addition product. Next. And I already told that the remote women and child, they are malnutrition. For that nutritional week, we celebrate. Next. And marketing is the one of the important parameter when you are talking about sustainable. And what we did, we first we teach the technology, capacity building, and after that we bring the farmers on. We organize such melas in which we bring all the resource means businessmen and high level people to motivate their morale as well as giving the marketing strategies to them. Next. And method demonstration technology we are providing to the stakeholders. Next. And same time, what teaching in a training, what training training we are providing, whether it is implemented on the ground or not, that we frequently we are used to go to the farmers and see the technology whether it is successful to them or not. Next. Farm and animal is the important parameter for sustainable agriculture, so we frequently organize animal health camp. Next. And so many peoples, I'm glad so many highest stakeholders who visited that institute, as well as farmers visited those places and taking the technology, the sustainable agriculture, how can it be? And I think that the challenges which I have seen in global level, somewhere our altitude and climatic condition might be same in south countries also. Somewhere my technology may be solve some problems. Next. And I'm so glad this is the China border, 16,720, where nothing can be grown. I'm able to make it successful: mushroom cultivation, strawberry, chili, and tomato. This is the positive sign of sustainable agriculture as well as agro-ecological approach, what I feel. Thank you so much. Next. Thank you so much. If any queries, I will love to share with you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Yangchang, with such a interesting, a very useful, fantastic story what you had. So you are not just working in extreme climatic conditions as you have outlined. One can imagine that producing something in -35 temperature and the kind of 16,000 altitude. This is really remarkable, and I'm sure this will really generate a lot of interest in our other global South partners, because this is the kind of other conditions are there in many other countries as well. And our all good wishes are with your work, and I'm sure many others will also take inspiration from your work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's a great honor for me to bring such a remote place on one platform. I'm very thankful that I'm with eminent people. It's a great honor for me. Thank you so much to showcase my work in this
that you're able to share your story with us, and I'm sure it will really inspire many others as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
In this workshop.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you will participate many more. You will have many more stories to tell to our partners as well. So now we move from the Indian speakers to now the speakers from the Global South. We have many speakers from the Global South. Time is limited, but I'm sure that they will also have very interesting things to share with us. The first speaker we have Dr. Lual A. Deng. He is Managing Director, Ebony Center for Strategic Studies from South Sudan. He's not joining. Okay, so he'll join. Perhaps he has certain problem with the connectivity. We'll come back if he's able to join. So the next speaker we have Mr. Salim Syed Salim. He is Executive Director, Somali Institute for Development Research and Analysis, Sidra, Somalia. And he has collaborated with various international organizations, including with many UN agencies. And he works on many other issues apart from agriculture and other broader issues of policy relevance. So, Mr. Salim Syed, over to you. You have to unmute, sir. You're not here.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be part of this conference. Really, this is a big opportunity for us for Somalis. We are a member of the Global South. Not only that we are a member of the Global South, but also we are one of the poorest countries of the Global South. After 3 decades of civil war, Somalia now is recovering from this prolonged civil war. The issue of economy is one of the hottest discussions and one of the pillars for rebuilding our state, because poverty is widespread in the country. In Somalia, agriculture constitutes the second largest economic contributor after the livestock. And also, when we are talking about the agriculture in Somalia, we cannot be far away from the livestock. So livestock, agriculture, and fishing, the three are almost, they represent one of our main economic contributors. But after the collapse of the former regime, during the past central government of Somalia, before 1990, Somalia had a good record when it comes to food security because of the production of the agriculture, especially crop production, mainly the banana, the sorghum, the maize, sesame, all these things. But after the collapse of the system, the agricultural sector has collapsed. My colleague Osman Mahmoud, who is agriculture expert, will add some of the points I missed. But Somalia is semi-arid country, so there are several challenges apart from the weak of the governance, apart from the climate change problems, apart from the lack of investment in the sector, apart from the insecurity, which is one of the key challenges to our country. Our agricultural sector also faces lack of or weak political will, and also weak governance system and poor agricultural policies. Also, as a think tanks, our contribution to the agriculture is very low. There is inavailability when it comes inavailability of reliable data when it comes to agriculture. One of the key challenges faced by our agricultural sector, one is lack of modern technology, especially relating to the irrigation. We don't have such technology. Even integration, also integration of technology into the agriculture is one of the stumbling blocks. Lack of innovative techniques when it comes to dealing with climate change issues like floods and recurrent droughts also is a challenge. Also, another challenge is coming from post-harvest issue. Many farmers still they are challenged with the post-harvest losses, because when they produce crops, for example, according to some studies from FAO, for example, 20 up to 40% of this harvest is lost, because still they rely on traditional techniques for storage. This is one of the challenges, and maybe this is for us is an opportunity to learn from your institute best practices when it comes to irrigation, best practices when it comes to integration of technology into agriculture sector, and also when it comes to best practices when it comes to dealing with the issue of climate change, because climate change has been affecting all the sectors of Somalia. But agriculture is one of the, I think agriculture is one of the worst affected sector because of the recurrent droughts and also recurrent floods. So in Somalia, even when we have a good harvest, a good rain harvest, the problem is how farmers address or deal with the issue of floods. So in both situations, when we have enough water from when we have enough rain harvest or rainfall, and also when there is no rainfall, in the both situations, Somali farmers they suffer they suffer a lot. So we think that as a global south, sharing information, sharing researches, focusing on the best practices is very crucial for us as a Somalis. And as a global south think tank, we do our best to disseminate knowledge, to conduct and carry out studies relating to the issue of economic development, focusing on our agricultural and livestock productions. If maybe I will leave for my colleague Osman, who is an agriculture expert, to add or to further explain some of the aspects of Somali's agriculture and sustainable development. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Salim Said. So now we have, as he mentioned, we have the next speaker from the same Institute Sidra, Mr. Osman Muhammad Ali. He is an agriculture scientist. But interestingly, he also has MSc in Bioinformatics from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu in India. So he already has certain connections with India. So he would be able to understand what's happening between India and Somalia and with the broader India and Africa. He already has certain exposure. We are very delighted that he is able to join Dr. Osman Muhammad Ali.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for giving me this platform. And I think since I am having very low bandwidth, I prefer to use a speaker instead of video. I don't know whether you are hearing me all.
Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Okay, thank you. And it also depends the time we have, since we already divided into two. In completion of what my colleague stated about Somalia in this agenda, I will say that the agricultural context in Somalia illustrates the broader challenges faced by the global south also regarding the food security and sustainable agricultural practice. And since Somalia is highly dependent on rainfed in agriculture and also pastoralism, it's particularly vulnerable to impact of climate change, including the frequent droughts and unpredictable rainfall pattern. These environmental challenges have resulted in significant food insecurity affecting millions of Somalis. Those are living in rural and also pastoral area. That also led to malnutrition and also poverty. Okay, in this platform, it highlights the urgent need of agroecological approaches that addresses immediate food shortage, but also enhance resiliency against the future climate adversity at global level. In Somalia context, the agroecological practices are essential for promoting sustainable agriculture. The cultivation of adaptable crops such as sorghum, millet, and legume are significant to improve food security, as these crops are well suited to arid conditions and require less water. Additionally, the introduction of date palm in the northern areas, which receives less rain compared to south, date palm cultivation offers another valuable venue for enhancing food system in Somalia, even though it is still underutilized. The date palms are highly resilient to drought and also provide nutritious food source, along with the potential economic benefits through the local and international market. Incorporating these crops into farming system can bolster resilience and offer also diverse nutritional options for communities in Somalia and also in global south people if these practices are replicated to similar areas. Despite the potential advantages of this agroecological practice, several challenges impede their implementation in Somalia. Limited access to financial resources, inadequate agricultural infrastructure, and insufficient technical training remain significant barriers for smallholder farmers. Additionally, ongoing political instability and insecurity complicates efforts to build a sustainable agricultural framework. Like this platform, it is also very important to advocate for comprehensive policy reforms that prioritize investment in agricultural research, infrastructure development, capacity building to help the farmers adopt climate smart practices effectively. Policy development is crucial also to facilitate in transition to sustainable agriculture in Somalia. It is essential to create supportive policy that enhance land tenure security, provide access to credit, and also promote the use of alternative energy sources to get rid of problems that are coming from the energy. For instance, integrating solar energy solution for irrigation can significantly improve water management and agricultural productivity. By establishing favorable policy environment, Somali government can empower local community to enhance agroecological practices that enhance both resilience and food security, ensuring that the farmers have resources and support needed to thrive. Collaboration, such platform that we are now in, can also be very important to successful implementation of agroecological practices in Somalia and partnering with the research and other activities. Improving also rainwater harvesting can also make sense in both agriculture and pastoralism in Somalia. That is what I'm going to say in the short time, also to minimize the time we have. And thank you very much for all.
Thank you both colleagues from Sidra, Somalia, for your very useful contribution, talking about broader weak governance system and also the importance of agroecological practices, as Professor Meena was also earlier mentioning. So there are some issues which are common in the global south, and there are practices, and we have to really see how these things can be scaled up, and we all can learn from each other. So next speaker we have Mr. Federico Baird. He is head of the program Digitization of Agri-Food Systems, Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, St. Lucia. He has his PhD in Agriculture Sciences from the School of Agronomy, UBA. And he also served as a Director of Research and Development at CREA, Argentina. And he's also co-founder of two agtech startups widely known in Latin America. Mr. Federico Baird, over to you.
So, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much on behalf of IICA, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We are very glad of being here. So I will share very shortly general view of the sustainable agricultural practices in the Americas, and mainly in Latin America and the Caribbean. So first of all, I'm sorry. First of all, if you can see my screen, I want to show you some numbers that at some point reflect the role that the Latin American and the Caribbean agriculture play in the global food security and sustainability. So we are the number one, the main region in some important markets like oilseeds, cereals, animal protein, and coffee. We contribute. We have 28% of our land with the potential to become arable or crop land. We contribute with 27% of the total world agri-food exports. And in relation to the sustainability, in America, we have 8 out of the 15 most diverse countries in the world. We have also 50% of the known biodiversity all over the world, and 16% of the marine resources. And we have also 35% of the world's freshwater reserves. So again, we play a key role for global food security and sustainability. So in relation to sustainable practices, and I will bring here some examples from my country, Argentina, and from cash crops in Argentina. So we are already implementing sustainable agricultural practices. In some cases, these practices mimic the nature, and this is one of the main important examples in my country and also in some other Latin American countries. We have in Argentina 90% of the area of cash crops with no tillage. I mean, using this technique, 90% of the total area is about 32 million of hectares in my country. And it has this technique, has the no tillage technique, has many benefits, but the two main benefits are, to reduce the soil erosion, and on the other hand, to increase the infiltration of water, enhancing the water balance for the crops. Another very important sustainable practice that we are already implementing are cover crops or service crops. We have more than 10% of the total area with cash crops with this technique, crops that we plant before the harvest crop, mainly to increase the sequestration of carbon and to improve or increase the carbon level in the carbon levels, in the soils. But also we have many other examples all over the Americas, and I will tell very shortly another example in Trinidad and Tobago. We have the Wa Samaki permaculture operation in Trinidad and Tobago, and what they do is to implement different techniques aimed to protect the environment. For instance, they build ponds to capture water from storms, and from floodings, and then they use that water to irrigate crops. They also are using vetiver grass to reduce soil erosion, and on the other hand, they are in this permaculture operation. They are using the waste of some of the agricultural activities to produce compost and also mulch to produce that compost. And just to use only the 5 minutes that you assigned to us, just to finish, I wanted to tell you that we, as I said before, we are already implementing sustainable agricultural practices, and we see, in addition to that, we see that digital technologies are key tools to increase production, agricultural production, while enhancing sustainability of the agricultural systems. And we have a couple of very interesting examples of this idea, of this concept. First of all, we are promoting the use of digital devices to support the technical assistance and extension processes. And what we are seeing is that farmers receiving digital assistance via SMS or WhatsApp, they are increasing their yields, and they are also implementing additional or increasing the implementation of sustainable practices. So, at the end of the day, the digital technologies are being very useful to introduce or incorporate knowledge, traditional knowledge and modern knowledge in the farmers' decisions, because they are receiving recommendations and information via their mobile phones. And another example that is becoming very common here in our region is the use of drones to make precision spraying of herbicides and, I mean, any kind of pesticides. So this is a very common technique in it is becoming a very common technique here in Argentina, but also in other countries. I think that this picture is from Ecuador. And what we are seeing is that the farmers are getting up to 80% of herbicide savings using this technique, because they use the drones to identify where in the plots are the weeds. Based on that, they generate a prescription map that they put again in the drone, and then the drone, spray the herbicides only in the spots, in the areas of the plots in which you detected weeds. So in that way, you can get, and they are getting, up to, as I said before, up to 80% of herbicides savings. So basically, that was all that I wanted to share with you. I hope that this will be useful, and of course, I remain available to answer any question. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Mr. Burt. I mean, for giving us and explaining, different kind of sustainable practices from Latin America and the Caribbean. We are running slight late, but your stories are so interesting, all of you. I mean, I don't want to disrupt anyone, but I'm sure. I mean, I think everybody's enjoying so far what we have been discussing. We can just take another 10-15 minutes to conclude our session. So next speaker we have Mr. Andrew Lawali. He's Executive Director, Institute for Governance Reform, Freetown, Sierra Leone. He's again one of another partner. I mean, his institute is working in many areas, including agriculture, and we are really keen to know your views on the topic we are discussing. Mr. Lawali.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. I don't know whether I'm audible.
Yes, you're very much audible, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think I need to deviate a little bit from the topic. I'm going to disappoint you a little bit. And so what I'll be doing, I mean, just with my colleagues in Somalia, is to share the experiences that we are having here. And I'll be sharing the good old days of Sierra Leone, I mean, in terms of agro-ecological approaches, and how that has been squandered over time. Because I decided to do this because most of these technical solutions that we are suggesting, beautiful solutions that were shared earlier, they perform better or they thrive well under certain social and political situations. So it would be useful to understand from the fragile state point of view, how do we manage these agro-technological solutions that we have been talking about. So for those of you who might know Sierra Leone, let me just start by rubbing some images on the screen of your minds. It was some 64 years ago that the Union Jack finally was pulled down, which marked the end of colonial rule at the time. And productivity of Sierra Leone was very high. My dad used to tell me that we used to export. Of course, it's in the records that Sierra Leone used to be an exporter of rice, at least to the neighboring countries, Liberia and Guinea, Conakry. So we have this 5.4 million hectares of arable land, which was used for productivity. These local approaches, most of what you described by all the earlier speakers, some of them we saw applied way back in history. So the reason why I'm saying I don't want to talk about the approaches, because I really want to learn from some of you knowing where we come from or where we are coming from, how come we lost touch with those practices? And so that's why I just want to share the struggle of a nation. So I used to do some research on the, when the war ended in Sierra Leone, I used to do some research in the rebuilding process on how to rebuild youth unemployment, address youth unemployment, and increase agricultural productivity. There are some groups that I interviewed in the remote eastern part of the country, which borders Sierra Leone and Liberia, that are very big in coffee, cocoa production part of the country. This group, one of the farmers that I interviewed, he told me, it's an interesting story, that you see that building across, there was a broken building that was destroyed by the war. He pointed at the building, and then he said that I had 3 wives. All 3 wives used to sit in that building and count after every harvest of coffee and cocoa, they count my proceeds the whole night, the monies from the proceeds. He said, I used to travel to Ivory Coast, and I had thousands of acres of land that was cultivated at the time. So I'm saying this because hardly do we see that, today in Sierra Leone, where you have massive, farmlands produced by locals, or produced through these agro techniques that have been shared. So the question is, why am I sharing this story? I'm sharing this story because I just want the team, since it's the theme of think tankers, to reflect on the journey as well, because it will be useful for us to begin to devise approaches for countries that are in fragile condition. Because Sierra Leone moved from I cannot say a very thriving country, but Sierra Leone actually moved from a country that was relatively producing to become a country that actually went into deeper fragility. And now we are trying to recouple the country and become productive once again. So there are some of the approaches that we are suggesting that might apply here, but we actually need to rethink very deeply, how do we rebuild such societies once again. The current flagship of the country, of the current administration, is food productivity. So the current government has 5 pillars. So food productivity is one. At the moment, we are a net importer of rice. We import about $200 million worth of rice every year. From a net exporter to a net importer. We have 60% of young people that are unemployed. And the country is known to be the third, the third country in the pecking order of countries that have vulnerability to natural disasters. So we are the 3rd highest. And so we experience these heavy rainfalls, and that comes with floods. It comes with mudslide. There was a mudslide that occurred some time ago that killed about 1,000 people in a day. So we have such circumstances. So the issue of climate change is real for Sierra Leone. The issue of environmental disaster is real for Sierra Leone. And with all of this comes the effect on agricultural productivity. So I think what has been ignored largely, I'm a political economist by training. I'm not really an agriculturist. So, but the question we ask ourselves is, to where did we go wrong with this? So Professor Bates is really quite clear about how pricing can, getting pricing right can promote productivity. So there was a time when the state decided to they organized a monopoly to purchase all of the produce, and they set the prices, and that made farming very unattractive, and most farmers actually moved to urban areas. So we had this huge urban poverty as opposed to rural productivity that existed. And again, we have this situation where most rural areas, the pride that we used to have. I come from a a community where we used to have words like lobai. Lobai means to leave and run away. So to leave and run away from your farm is one way of saying, you know, you are unproductive, you are lazy. So farmers look at such farmers with scorn and mockery. So what politicians did over time is to replace those ethics of hard work, those ethics of productivity with an ethics of receivership. So I think I just want to end there to say, I really came here to learn, but just to share the experience of the country, the struggle that we are facing as well. I thank you very much. And thanks, Dashin, for the opportunity you've given us.
Thank you, Mr. Lavali, for really sensitizing all participants about the broader socio-political things, socio-political development, socio-political problems in many of the countries in the global south face. And obviously, as rightly you have mentioned, you can't really have only technical solutions because there are other broader issues, with all the fragile states and whatever definition you can put. But there are larger political, social political issues which also need to be understood in the context of agriculture and sustainable agriculture or agro-ecological agriculture within the global south. We are getting questions from the audience, but before we go there, I know that we are late. We have two more speakers. Be patient. We have the next speaker, Dr. S.H. Nuwan P. De Silva from the Faculty of Agriculture, University of Peradeniya, Sri Lanka. He was trained in Master of Science in Agriculture from the University of Tokyo in Japan, and also he did his PhD in Agriculture Development from the University of Tokyo, Japan. And he has very solid academic record. Now I can't really go because time is very limited, but he has large number of publications that are to his credit. Dr. De Silva, please.
Let me share my screen first. Okay, I hope I am audible enough to you all and you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. I can also hear you very well.
Okay, so now it's on full screen. Okay, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I'm Nuwan De Silva from Faculty of Agriculture, University of Peradeniya. I'm also a member of research wing of Bandaranaike Academy for Leadership and Public Policy, an institute that is working very closely with Dakshin. So I think, as you all know, Sri Lanka is a developing country, and for Sri Lanka as well, agriculture plays a very important role, contributing to GDP around 70% at present, and especially more than 20% of the labor force involved in agricultural activities. And as common for other global south countries, we also having similar challenges in agriculture, especially the soil degradation, climate change effects, and other factors like water scarcity, biodiversity losses, and new occurrence of some pests and diseases likewise. And if you know the Sri Lankan history, we have more than 2000 history in agriculture as well. So therefore, at present, in Sri Lanka, we have some couple of traditional agricultural systems and as well as some of the new agricultural practices that promotes sustainable agriculture. Let me introduce some of those traditional system and as well as some of the new practices. If you think about the traditional practices, Illanga system and Candium on garden system and vegetable land systems are very prominent traditional agricultural system, but still active at the present as well. Illanga system recently recognized as a globally important agricultural heritage system by the FAO. If you look at this Elanga system, this is this system you can see in the dry zone of Sri Lanka, and which is mainly predominant by a cascade of water tanks, the rainwater harvesting, and all those cascade tanks are finally coming into a main tank very close to the village, and this tank will provide the water during the dry season, and as well as surrounding area is with forest and other agricultural ecosystems like rain cultivation, and as a whole, this system is having water use efficiency and a lot of soil conservation practices, and there are a lot of biodiversity conservations going on, and also the activities and the setup here is supporting the climate resilience as well. And there are a lot of community involvement in the practices here. Therefore, there are a lot of the system promoting a lot of social harmony as well. And the other system is Candium home garden system that you can see in the mid-country wet zone of the Sri Lanka. This is also a traditional system, but still active at the present level. As you can see in this picture, this Candium home garden system is connected to other agricultural ecosystems like paddy cultivation and upland cena cultivation in between the forest. And this Candium home garden system is also like a natural forest, but which is compared with several strata of plant species, but mainly having crops or the tree species with economical values as well. And as a whole, this system provides biodiversity conservation and sustainable agricultural practices. And since this is a home garden system, it provides economic contribution to the family and as well as food and nutritional security of the family as well. And since this is a traditional system, it supports the cultural heritage as well. So you can see this is a picture of such a home garden from the mid-country in Sri Lanka. And the other system is, this is you can see in the low country of Sri Lanka. And this is a vegetable system that you can find in between agricultural systems and the home garden or the village. So this system provide economic support to the farmers and as well as it's as a buffer zone as well. So this is also having services increasing agriculture productivity, supporting the food security, and also there are a lot of ecological benefits and also cultural and social significance. And this is a home garden in Sri Lanka, because apart from those traditional systems, home gardening also very popular among Sri Lankan people. You can see everywhere, upcountry, mid-country, and low country, and therefore the Department of Agriculture and Government of Sri Lanka promoting home gardening for Sri Lankan people. This is actually also a traditional system, but empowered by modern techniques as well. In order to increase the resource use efficiency and economic benefits, the Department of Agriculture is promoting a specific model for home garden, considering the elevation as well as location. For example, it promotes to have toiletries towards the north, and this crop mixture is supported by the crop recommendation in the specific area, and as well as the dietary habits of the specific region. So these home gardens are having a lot of economic benefits to the family and for also for the food and nutritional security, and as well as sometimes it creates some social harmony as well, because in some villages we find people sharing those producers among the neighbors when they have in excess. And apart from these traditional practices, we have been promoting some of the other practices as well. Green manure application is one of such practices. We have also done some research specifically on this green crop. Now, Department of Agriculture have identified sunhemp as a potential green manure crop, and research finding also support that this has a lot of benefits, adding a lot of biomass into the system within a very short period of time, and as well as a lot of nitrogen into the system. So this provide soil improvement, erosion control role, specifically dry zone of Sri Lanka, where the soil has been degrading with the use of chemical fertilizer and unsustainable agricultural practices. And the cover crop is also promoted. Horse gram and some legumes have been identified as a potential cover crops. They are also supporting the soil health improvement, erosion control, and weed suppression, specifically soil moisture conservation in the dry zone part of the country. And we have done some research on intercropping as with horse gram cover crop, that it also have given some positive results. And intercropping is also have been promoting now, specifically maize and legume cropping system is as very important cereal crop in Sri Lanka, which has been used for the human consumption as well as for the animal feed. And so legume have been incorporated in the system to increase the productivity and as well as the soil rehabilitation and soil improvement. And at the same time, we have tried some research with some flowering plants like marigold, which has some insect repellent activity and have got very good results to test, especially caterpillar attacking cabbage crop. So this intercropping system is also we hope it's very successful now promoting to the farmers. And mulching is also is a good practice. And paddy straw is the common mulching material, which is very low cost and abundantly you can find. Commonly used in vegetable cultivation as well as plantation agriculture, specifically as you can see here in this picture, specifically in the coconut plantation, the dry coconut beans. Farmers use mulching material in order to conserve the moisture and weed control, and which gives a lot of benefits to the coconut cultivation. And at the same time, we have been promoting digital agriculture technologies as well in order to increase the resource use efficiency and minimize the losses. So that way also we can achieve the sustainability by reducing the environmental footprints. And for all of these things, we have a policy support as well from the Sri Lankan government under the National Agriculture Policy. It supports the sustainability in agriculture development through conservation and utilization of natural resources while safeguarding the ecosystem services. So these are the component of the policy. And Department of Agriculture is the responsible agency that promote all these activities and conduct research. We, Faculty of Agriculture, University of Peradeniya, as a pioneer agriculture institute in Sri Lanka, we also work in hand with the Agriculture Department to do research and as well as farmer training in order to support the sustainable agriculture practices. And also we are trying to bring up our farmers to the professional levels, from a traditional farmer to professional farmer, so that with the inclusion of digital technology and as well as inclusion of these traditional sustainable agricultural technologies. Yeah, with this, I wind up my presentation, and thank you very much again for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. De Silva, for telling us about all the different traditional agriculture practices and systems in Sri Lanka. I'm sure it would have generated some interest in our participants. I think they're very useful, many of them, to learn what exactly how different countries are using different techniques. Some of them are similar, some of them are different. So the last speaker in the panel, we have Professor Andrison Sanchez. He's the president of the National Committee of International Relations Scholars, Boneri, Dominican Republic. Professor Anderson Sanchez, over to you, sir. Okay. Professor Sanchez. Okay, yeah. All right.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever you are. Thank you for the opportunity. We are very grateful for this opportunity, and the president of Coneri DR gave me the assignment to talk to you about the agriculture in Dominican Republic, progress and challenges. The Dominican Republic sector, the agricultural sector in the Dominican Republic is vital for the economic and social well-being. In 2017, the country allocated 600,000 hectares to agricultural production, highlighting its strategic importance. However, the sector's growth faces environmental, social, and economic challenges. In response, various agricultural initiatives have emerged, many aligned with the Latin American agricultural movement, promoting sustainable agriculture for both local and export markets. In this context, we present three agroecological projects dated by German organization Miserol, which have brought significant changes to rural communities in the country. The first project was implemented in 5 community experience high level of environmental degradation due to the slash and burn practice, as well as coffee crisis caused by pests like coffee berry borer, and disease such as coffee leaf rust. Its goal was to develop an agroecological production model resilience to climate change and strengthen the peasant movement. Key strategy included reforestation and water resources conservation, training in agroecological practice to diversify crops such as coffee, bean, corns, and avocado, and organizational strengthening through the creation of producer associations. The second projects impacted 12 communities characterized by subsistence farming with a little diversification and high dependence on coffee, which accounted for 65% of families' incomes and have been severely affected by coffee leaf rust. To transform this reality, agroecological family garden with severe crops were implemented, along with the reforestation and soil conservation and training the use of organic fertilizer and biological pest control. The third project was executed in 12 communities located in river basins, facing severe environmental crisis with over 90% of the soil lacking cover, overgrazing, degradation, and accelerated biodiversity loss. The implementation focused on soil recovery through reforestation, agricultural diversification with agroforestry practice, water management as a climate change, adapting to a strategy, right? The importance include reduced erosion and soil recovery, improved water access and management in rural communities, and greater sustainability, allowing a continuation of agroforestry initiative with the support of international NGOs. These projects have demonstrated that agroecology is powerful to strengthen food security, restore ecosystem, and empower rural communities. However, challenges is in facing organizational consolidation and market access remain. The key to expanding the impact lies in greater integration of public and policy and strategies alliance that allow scaling these initiatives on a national and international levels. The Dominican Republic is moving toward more sustainable and resilient agriculture. The President Luis Abinader has expressed his commitment to sustainable agriculture in the Dominican Republic. For example, in October 2024, upon receiving the Medal of Honor for Merit from the Dominican Association of Landowners and Farmers, he emphasized, I quote, "The Dominican countryside is the heart of our economy development, and we will continue working on ensuring its growth and prosperity." End of the quote. So I repeat, thank you very much. We really appreciate this opportunity, and it's been great to hear all of you expressing the situation in your countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Julio Jimenez. I mean, I think it was also very useful for us to know, how your country is moving towards sustainable and resilient agriculture. In fact, some of the issues which has emerged are common, but of course, at the same time, different countries are also using different traditional technologies and their own way of doing things. Now, we have a couple of questions which we have received from the audience. Since we have already finished our time, but we can just extend another 10 minutes or so with your permission. And, may I also ask my colleague here, who is advisor agriculture, Dr. Shiv Sena Reddy, I mean, who is the person along with Ms. Tanya Singh who has been brain behind this workshop, which they were in contact with you regularly. If briefly 1 or 2 minutes, Dr. Reddy, if you would like to share your views on what we have heard from our partners so far. Dr. Seni or Dr. Reddy?
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So it was a fantastic session, sir. It was fantastic session, and the premise of agroecology is the farmer-centric, means to discover local solutions to address drought and other challenges. So this workshop which served as a platform for our collaborative dialogue with our partners. And with these deliberations, we think we have emerged some of the strategies for our localized, resource efficient, sustainable agroecological sync practices, and also for strengthening the climate resilience through adaptive strategies, which some of the countries shared, and also to enhance nutritional security and foster agroecological synchronization. So in this endeavor, we also look forward to have a collaborative paper or a collaborative draft of having an anecdotal evidence or the voice or the agroecological voices of the global south, recognizing its importance towards the sustainable agriculture. And once again, thank you all the speakers, and thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. It was a fantastic session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. In fact, before I just picked up the questions which we have received, a couple of questions from the audience, which they have shown a lot of interest, and still a large number of people are continuing to participate, continue to be with us. If any of the panelists would like to ask any specific question or query to the fellow panelists, because we have close to a dozen panelists here. Unfortunately, one of our panelists from South Sudan, because of certain connectivity issues, was not able to join. Hopefully, he'll be able to join us in some of our the future engagements. So, if you have any specific question for you're free to answer. Free to ask questions from anyone in the panel. If not, then I can just read some of the questions before we finish. One of the questions which we have received from direct question for Dr. Jitme, when you mentioned about the kind of agriculture effects you have in this very extreme conditions in Leh, the question is, how important are the land rights for women within agriculture to be sustainable in Leh? It's about land rights for women. Is there any linkage, you find?
Is it for me, sir?
Yeah, it's for you.
Thank you so much. When you are talking about land right, whatever mentioned in the land right, that it is in Ladakh also, Hindu Succession Law 1956 is applied here. But one thing very important to share that in Ladakh, by fortune, we can say that we women get an equal right, whether it is in whether it is in a land or as well as a property in a property. And we are in Ladakh normally we are gender equal, there is no discrimination in gender. And the life example is myself. I and my brother, we are getting equal property right, whether it is in land as well as in property, sir. Then there is not a big issue in Ladakh, but places like the countries, they are male dominated, and it is not happening. But places like Ladakh, this is one of the fortunate for us women. We have equal rights.
Okay. There's another question is about, in fact, somebody, Amarjit Singh, he has asked that if we could have another this kind of discussion on the medicinal plants. We'll be very happy to do that. We'll discuss with our experts here, and in fact, tomorrow itself we are discussing with our Indonesian friends on traditional systems of medicines, both in India and also in Indonesia, how both can learn from each other. And how can, in fact, the question is also, how can farmers benefit from two crop system, particularly cultivating medicinal plants along with traditional crops? If any one of you would like to answer this question, because he has not asked any specific speaker. Professor Parikh, if you are around, if you could.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
So I think, the question is quite relevant. having two crops, one related to the staple food and another related to the medicinal plant. Though it is not in practice in many regions of the world, but in some countries, I'm aware of the situation that the rice crop is actually intermittently put forward with several other medicinal plants. So yes, in principle, it is a good idea. Farmers are able to get the cash crop as well as the medicinal plant. So this makes the livelihood of farmers better in that sense. And of course, it also results in conserving the germplasm related to local medicinal plant. I'm aware in Northeastern region in India, these kind of practices are available, and the government agencies in India are also, promoting such co-cultivation where two crops or more than two crops are being cultivated by the farmers. So yes, certainly it's a good idea. Thank you.
May I give the answer of this one? Because
Yes, please.
when
Yes, please. You
got
can.
medicine plants, medicine plants that in highest altitude places like Ladakh, we are having a sea buckthorn, one of the renowned plant, and the cultivation of medicine plant. If it is feasible to cultivate in a barren land, it is more effective as compared to when in a cultivable land, it becomes very difficult because it's take 4 or 5 years, and farmer can't wait for 4 and 5 years, and under such circumstances farmer can't get that much of return. And the people who are having a plenty of barren land, where we can introduce such types of medicine plants. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And may I just also ask Dr. Gagnesh Sharma if you would like to just before we wind up, particularly
Yes,
on this
yes.
medicinal plant.
Yes, sir. I want to add on this that there is a big shift, going towards, this cultivation of medicinal plants. And in case of this Ayurvedic kind of pathy, and in case of, Ayurvedic medicines, the challenge is that we are not getting, chemical free, pesticide residue free, clean herbs or products. So if we start cultivating, if Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Ayush, they join hands together, and we are proposing it to Ministry of Ayush also, and we are requesting to our Secretary, sir, that there should be a collaboration between Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Ayush. So there will be a win-win situation for both, Ministry of Ayush as well as Ministry of Agriculture. Why? Practically, if organic farmer or a natural farmer or a chemical-free farmer or even a conventional farmer, if they start producing this medicinal plants in the field, then the the component of increasing the biodiversity, means the concept of increasing the biodiversity. It may be plant, it may be animal biodiversity, it may be microbiological kind of a biodiversity. So cultivation of different kind of multiple crops, we can say, and integrated farming systems. The medicinal plants will be one of the integrated means intercrop or multi-crop while going for natural farming and organic farming. So how it is helping practically? These medicinal plants act as sometimes as a repellents, as a push-pull factor to the insect pests and disease control in and around agricultural farms, or we may say organic or natural farms. So not only this, some of the plants, medicinal plants, they suppress the weeds. Some of the plants, they provide very good exudates. Also the nutrients, medicinal plants versus the main cereals, wheats, and millet-based crops in combination with flowers and medicinal crops will be a very good combination as far as natural farming and organic farming is concerned. So this is there.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. I think there is really, we can go on. There are a lot of interest in different kind of ideas which all the panelists and other participants are showing here. But obviously now we have already taken more than 40 minutes extra than we thought we would be. But of course, there was so much interest, and we have so many experts together. And there are also different time zones. Somebody is just in the very early morning, somewhere in the very late evening, and in Delhi also it's around 7:15, in the evening 7:10. Thank you so much, I mean, for all of you participating in this very useful and very productive workshop. And I'm sure this will result into something more concrete. Our experts would be looking into some of the issues raised here at the workshop, and we will perhaps come out with specific research proposals and also perhaps more into specific technology transfer and other kinds of projects. So what we have actually so far discussed in this workshop, there are issues which were raised about soil water management, specifically about water resource management, and then also broader dimensions of agroecological dimensions, which is not just purely technical issues, as I think as colleagues from Sidra and many other places also mentioned, but the larger issues of governance and also issues of fragility, because we are talking about a large number of countries and with different kind of system, different kind of governance system, different kind of levels of fragility there. And then also we have very interesting examples from extreme conditions from Ladakh and also from Latin America and Caribbean and also from Sri Lanka. So there are different kind of techniques, farming techniques, practices in different countries are using, and there is a lot to learn from each other. And this is what perhaps we were able to discuss it within less than 2 hours today. There's a lot more need to be done, but I'm very thankful to all of you. I know you are very, very busy people. You have a lot of work in your, but you're still, you are able to join us in this workshop, and we will continue to bother you for many more things. But thank you so much for joining us, and also many others from different parts of the world, those that continue to participate. I mean, the long list, in fact, we have, the people those who participated here from large number of countries. Thank you, all of you, and thank you also to our Dakshin team who is here, and also some of them are participating online. Thank you, all of you. Goodbye, and we'll meet again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.